The letter ZAYIN is constructed from the previous letter of Vav with a crown on its head. This is the expression Eshet Chayil Ateret Bala. A crown of a husband is a woman of valor. In relationship to the Vav, Vav is considered a male energy, and the ZAYIN a feminine energy. And this is manifest in the 6 days of creation, which is represented by the Vav, as the Vav equals 6, followed by Shabbat, which is the 7th day, represented by the ZAYIN. And that's why in many poems and songs of Shabbat, we relate to Shabbat as a bride, as a queen. The Shabbat queen. Boi kala, lecha dodi likrat kala. Let us go and greet the Shabbos bride. In Kabbalah, we're taught that the Vav represents what's called straight light, meaning light coming from above to below. Whereas the ZAYIN represents returning light, which returns up the Vav and spreads out in the top in the form of a crown. The ZAYIN representing the Shabbat, the culmination of the creative process, is hinted to in the very last words of the account of creation, which says about Shabbat that God rested from all of his work, Asher bara Elokim lasot, that God made to do. And the commentaries ask, what is the word to do doing there? It's a little bit superfluous, or it seems superfluous. And we're told that what it means is that God made the world and left it for man to do. That's the idea of returning light. Now, paradoxically, how do we celebrate the Shabbat? By refraining from work. So this is a great and deep paradox, is that we actually rectify creation ultimately through knowing the difference of when to work and when to rest, when to celebrate the creation instead of trying to alter it and manipulate it. The letter ZAYIN means a number of things. One is a sword. One is the scepter of the king. And one is Hazan et Kol. After eating, we make an after blessing. We say, we bless God who provides for everyone, for everything. All of these come from the root of ZAYIN. On the level of worlds, the sword represents what we call the survival or the fittest. That the world seems to be constructed in a way of constant battle and effort that we have to make in this world in order to succeed. But that same sword, from a more divine perspective, is a royal scepter. That through the process of struggle and clarification and overcoming obstacles, God's scepter, his divine providence, is ruling and moving the world forward. On the most divine level, God is providing for everyone. As we say in the Psalms, Poteach et yadecha umasbia lecho charatzon. Open up your hand, God, and provide for all of life, which God does. So these are all meanings of the ZAYIN on different levels. There's an expression in the Talmud, Kol shvi'in chavivin. All sevens are precious. We know that the number 7 appears so many times in Jewish tradition because it follows its first archetypal appearance as Shabbat. the code of the cycle of 6 days of work followed by a seventh, a day of the soul, a divine day, is encoded in all cycles of creation. And that's why we have 7 days to the week. Between Pesach and Shavuos, we count 7 weeks before receiving the Torah on the 50th day. All of the holidays mentioned in the Torah happen during the first 7 months of the year. We work 6 years the land, and then we have the Shemitah, the sabbatical year, on the 7th. And then we count 7 times 7 years, culminating in the 50th Jubilee year. Then we have the 6,000 years of history, crowned by the 7th millennium, which is the era of the Mashiach. So we see in the pattern of cycles how 7 repeats itself over and over again. On the level of the soul, we have what are called the 7 shepherds that we invite into our sukkahs every year. The 7 leaders of Israel, Avram, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, Yosef, and David. Pesach is 7 days. Sukkot is 7 days. The menorah, the candelabra in the temple, which represented the mission of the Jewish people to receive God's light in the world and then to spread it to the whole world, had 7 branches. The Kala, the bride at a wedding, goes around her groom 7 times, walks around him 7 times. And then under the chuppah, the wedding canopy, 7 blessings are given to the bride and groom. And then they celebrate for 7 days with these 7 blessings. On an even higher level, we see that the 10 sfirot, the 10 divine emanations, which, along with the Hebrew letters, are the archetypal model through which God creates, are usually divided into the 3 higher sfirot and the 7 lower sfirot. And these 7 lower sfirot appear on every level of creation. A wonderful meditation and visualization is to see oneself as surrounded by these different cycles, to understand how the cycle of weeks and months and years surround us and create our context in the world, and how our work in this world is to return the light that's coming down from above in order to fix and rectify all of creation.